Ladies and gentlemen, Anna Ford. Please welcome David Tennant.
Dennis Potter understood that television was an art form that was new and unique. His writing was consistently fresh, often controversial, and always stimulating. Television drama would never be the same again after him. Any writer who gets a BAFTA presented in his name has to be something very special indeed. It is safe to say that tonight's winner is just that. He is one of the most unique voices in television today. I am delighted to describe him as my boss, but I'm proud as punch to call him a friend. It is Russell T Davies. Russell's writing career started in children's television, but it was a brief stint as a storyliner on Coronation Street that brought him to the attention of drama bosses, and soon he was writing his own creations. The Grand, Bob and Rose, the groundbreaking and controversial Queer as Folk, Dennis would have been very proud. And with the consequent success of The Second Coming, he was established as a major force in contemporary television drama. And then, of course, came his magnum opus. A self-confessed Doctor Who enthusiast, Russell achieved the apparently unachievable, revitalising and updating a television icon that many thought was beyond redemption. But he injected the series with a heart, a wit, and an imagination that made a 40-year-old concept fresher than just about anything else around it. Russell's great friend, the writer Paul Abbott, said, "The humanity and wit that Russell crams into the tiniest corners of human behaviour sets him far, far above the professional typists masquerading as writers in this industry. The exceptional quality of his output is only achieved by a working day that would leave most Calvinists shrinking in shame. He is the finest inspiration any friend and colleague could wish for." And he's given me two of the best roles that I can ever hope to get. So it is a great, great privilege for me to be chosen tonight to present the Dennis Potter Award to a man so fabulously deserving. Before I do that, though, let's just take a look at some highlights of his work.
The best part of my job is when my email pings and there is a Russell T Davies script in front of me.
Russell is a complete television nut and lives it and breathes it and loves it and is passionate about it. And that kind of full-blooded passion for the medium, I think, informs everything he's done.
From an actor's point of view, he makes everything so very, very easy. You instantly understand the characters that he's creating without a whole load of exposition.
Perfect boyfriend, shags like a rabbit, can't understand a word I'm saying. He's fab, isn't he? It's a love job. We met in the club.
What club?
Mile High.
I had never heard of gays before Queer as Folk, so it was quite interesting for me.
Queer as Folk is about love, and it's about unrequited.
Episode of Bob and Rose, I couldn't believe Russell had managed to make such an unlikely pairing quite so sexy.
One of the most brilliant speeches and actors ever.
Sometimes people don't see the cleverness in Russell's writing. They underestimate, because he's so funny and because he's so slick and because he's so televisual, they underestimate what he's saying.
You stupid! Stupid people! I've seen what you've done! It's finally happened. Heaven is empty, and hell is bursting at the seams.
His works have been consistently ambitious and high concept, and yet they've been very populist and accessible and mainstream in a great way. Once I had a look at the first page, that was it. I was stuck. I was in.
I love him, Casanova. I'm sizzling like a boy on a griddle.
The tone of the whole thing was so adventurous and warm and cheeky.
If you could do what I could do,
then you would do it too. But you can't. I can, and I have, and I'll do it again.
He really contemporises language and humour so that you can instantly relate to a situation that you really thought that you wouldn't be able to relate to.
Now, mine doesn't do that.
I think Russell was always going to write Doctor Who. I think it's in his blood.
I know that years ago, right, before he worked on Doctor Who, he had a man make a Dalek for his house.
Because if I'm very clever, and I'm more than clever, I'm brilliant, I might just save the world. I'll rip it apart.
I go for the first one.
Me too. Now, I've just got to go and power up the game station. Hold on!
It's so human, even in this kind of alien world, and that's why it works so well. And it's scary, and people have to be scared.
It's packed full of adventure and spooky monsters, but underneath all of that, there's a writer with something to say about the world and how we live.
These human beings, consider their potential. From the day they arrive on the planet and blinking step into the sun, there is more to see than can ever be seen. More to do than... No, hold on. Sorry, that's the Lion King. But
there are, at any time, you know, writers who hit a nerve and capture our times and reflect them back to the viewer. And I think Russell is one of those people. This is his time.
ladies and gentlemen, the Dennis Potter Award for Outstanding Writing for Television goes to Russell T Davies.
Thank you very much. I'd like to thank the Academy. That is such an honour beyond words. I can't begin to tell you. Too many people to thank. It's just like drowning. There's so many faces in your head. My agent Bethan, my lovely patient boyfriend Andrew, who's over there. But I'd also like to thank my friend Sally Watson, who doesn't work in television, because when you start out, you try and write like Paul Abbott, you try and write like Kay Mellor, you try and write like Dennis Potter, you try and write like Roald Dahl. You sort of mash yourselves into all these shapes. And just over a cup of tea one day, she just sort of said, "Why don't you write like you?" And the hard thing about that is you then got to work out who you are. But it was the best advice I've ever had. If I'm going to risk any wise words, it is those. So thank you very much. I am chuffed. Thank you. Cheers.